comes to there.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Delaware Public Service Commission meeting. And hello to everyone out there in the internet. And there are no meeting minutes today. We have the consent agenda. There are two items on the agenda. Does anyone wish either of the items to come off the consent agenda? If not, we could have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We adopt the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Is there any discussion on the motion to approve the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. Regular agenda number 1, application of Verizon. I think we're going to have the pleasure today of seeing someone we haven't seen for a while. Is Ms. Metz coming up to the table? Great. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And do you want to tell us what this is about?
Sure. Under the Telecommunications Technology Investment Act, there are provisions for changing the rates for basic services. As you're aware, the law was changed in 2013, so that really the only basic service that pretty much exists right now is switched access service. So we're still required under the law to file this price index filing each year. However, those rates for those services cannot change. The FCC actually has rules that govern what those rates can be, and there is a provision also in the statute, the Delaware statute, that says the rates can't be increased. So the filing ties the rate increases or decreases to really the GDPPI price index, and in this case, this year, the index went up. So we would be able to, under the current formula in the statute, raise that rate, except for, in this case, we have prohibitions that prohibit us from changing switched access. So the filing we've been making each year, but really we can't do anything to the rates. So I believe staff, we made a letter filing again this year, like we did last year, basically saying those things that we can't change it it would go up, but we can't change it. So really we're are just asking that the filing be approved in its current form. I believe staff had issued a memo to that effect as well.
Thank you, Ms. Metz. Ms. Mayrack?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, Ms. Metz has accurately summarized this docket. Staff did review the filing. Public notice of the price index was published. No public comments were received. Staff is in support of the Commission's approval of this annual price index filing and would urge the Commission to adopt Order 8913 in docket number 16-0636. And Tony Loper is available if there are any additional questions.
Thank you, Ms. Mayrack. Ms. Iori, any input?
No input.
Any commissioners have any questions regarding the application of Verizon?
Chair, I move that the Commission adopt Order number 8913 as
I second.
Is there any discussion on the motion to approve proposed order number 8913? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Metz. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Number 2, in the matter of the application of Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, City of Harrington franchise fee rider. Greetings, Mr. Denman. Please proceed.
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioners. In order to provide service to the residents of Harrington, like in other municipalities, Chesapeake's required to get the approval of the municipality. And in that respect, they've entered into a franchise agreement with the City of Harrington. Under the terms of the franchise agreement, customers within the service territory in Harrington the company would be required to pay a volumetric franchise fee of 0.0181 per CCF. As in the past, in this application, the company is requesting permission to pass that volumetric surcharge on to the residents of Harrington, as opposed to having all the other ratepayers contribute to the assessment. Chesapeake's proposal is consistent with what the Commission has approved in the past with respect to these types of situations. The staff has reviewed our application, and I believe Amy Woodward, on behalf of the staff, has submitted a memo to the Commission explaining the application and recommending the staff's approval. We've reviewed proposed order number 8905, which would approve the application, and we would urge the Commission to enter that order. With me today is Sarah Hardy on behalf of the company, and she's available to answer any questions that you may have with respect to the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Denman. Ms. Mayrack?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, Mr. Denman has accurately summarized this docket and the proposed order number 8905, which is in front of you. Ms. Woodward has reviewed the application as well as the changes to the tariff and the surcharge, which would basically, as Mr. Denman has said, pass through the City of Harrington franchise fee onto those ratepayers. Public notice regarding this application was published. No public comments were received, and staff is in support of the City of Harrington franchise fee rider, as well as order number 8905, and would urge the Commission to adopt it. And Ms. Woodward is available if there are additional questions.
Thank you, Ms. Mayrack. Ms. Iori?
No input.
Commissioners? Questions?
I have a quick question. How many cubic feet do people use every month in residential?
Well, that's dependent upon the month of the year. Obviously, in the wintertime, there would be more consumption. Typically, we look at around 650 CCFs a year for our residential customers.
So this is 12 cents a year. Thanks.
Yes, the answer is yes.
That ought to pay your bill, Mr. Denman.
Thank God I don't live in Harrington.
May we have a motion on this matter, please?
I so move that we accept order number 8905.
Second the motion.
Is there any discussion on the motion to approve proposed order 8905? Hearing none, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Denman and Ms.
Thank you,
Mayrack.
Commissioner.
And Ms. Hardy. And Ms. Woodward, who has her summer look on now. Number 3 is in the matter of the application of Delmarva Power and Light Company. This is our UFRC times 2. Mr. Geddes.
Easy for you to say, Mr. Chairman. I just go with relocation facilities. Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. This is a proposed order that memorializes your decision at your last meeting where you decided that the UFRC should be treated in a manner similar to the DSEC, which applies to water companies. Consistent with that determination, this order would allow the rate to go into effect, not approve it, but allow it to go into effect subject to audit, and also would zero out the existing rate at the time interim rates are set July 16th. So the rate going forward would be 0.05%. I believe that this order fairly and accurately embodies the Commission's deliberations. It has been circulated. Delmarva, as well as the DPA, have submitted their comments, which are included in the order, and I believe it's in a form for you and the members of the Commission to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Geddes. Ms. Scott?
Thank you, Chair Winslow and Commissioners. Delmarva did have the opportunity to review and provide input to the order, and we are satisfied with the form and ask that you approve it.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Any question? Ms. Iori, no input?
No, actually, I do have
Okay.
something on this.
Well, that's welcome.
As Mr. Geddes represented, the public advocate did have the opportunity to review the proposed form of order and did make comments on it. The public advocate is satisfied with the form of order and recommends it for the commission's consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Iori. Any commissioners have any questions of the parties?
Move we adopt order number 8911 as presented.
Is there any discussion on the motion to approve proposed order number 8911? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. Mr. Geddes?
Yes, the next order is a similar form of order, but it applies to the gas utility facilities. The structure of the order is the same, although the rate is different. Again, you're not approving the rate, you're only allowing it to go into effect, subject to audit. This rate will be 0.25%, again effective July 16th when interim rates go into effect. The prior rate will be zeroed out at that time. Again, this has been circulated to the company as well as the DPA. I believe their comments are reflected in the order, and staff is proposing that you consider it favorably today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Geddes. Ms. Scott?
Thank you, Chair Winslow. As Mr. Geddes indicates, we did have an opportunity to review and provide comment with respect to the order, and we are satisfied with the form and would ask that the Commission consider its adoption.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Ms. Iori?
Thank you, Chair Winslow. Ditto.
Well, that was different.
Trying to conserve my voice.
Good thing.
Excuse me while I compose myself. Any commissioners have any questions of the parties except for Ms. Iori? Anybody have a motion to present?
Move we adopt order number 8912.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion to approve proposed order 8912? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Geddes, Ms. Scott, Ms. Iori. There's nothing on our hearing schedule today. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to make any public comment to the Public Service Commission? No one is coming forward, so I assume that no one is here for that purpose. And Mr. Howard, sir.
Chairman Winslow, Commissioners, good afternoon. Happy to see my favorite commissioners here again as usual. I would ask probably that Ms. Knotts come forward and review with you our proposal for the SOS technical monitoring consultant that needs to be considered in the near future.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. After further discussion with Delmarva and most recently yesterday, staff is not proposing any changes to the contract length for the standard offer service technical monitoring contract. As you'll recall, the technical monitoring contract currently is a one-year contract with a provision to extend 1 year. And this year will be the year that the RFP will go out for the technical monitoring consultant. If you'll recall, in the past several years, Liberty Consulting Group, Jim Ledzeller has been the technical monitoring consultant for the Commission. So, pretty uneventful. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Anybody have any questions? Ms. Knotts? Not,
Yeah.
Mr. Commissioner Gray.
Yeah, sorry. So this is a extension in a second year for an RFP?
Actually, this will be a new RFP this year. We've already had the extension last year.
Okay.
It's a one-year contract with a one-year extension allowed. So we will be soliciting, Delmarva will be issuing an RFP for the one-year contract this year.
So what's happening, I think, is that the staff proposed this idea, and after further discussion, they're going to put that on the back burner and go with the
Status quo.
one we've done before, and then the next time around,
then
after
go
we've
for two.
had further input and further technical meetings and workshops on the SOS matter, then, if they feel it's appropriate, we'll bring this back.
Okay, is there a rate change, any substantial rate change?
This does not affect a rate change unless there is an increase, a substantial increase to the RFP for the cost of the technical monitoring consultant. Typically, we have averaged around $50,000 for the technical monitoring consultant, and that's in part of the rates currently. It's in the standard offer service, the RARM part of the standard offer service rate.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Knotts. We have a question from Commissioner Correa.
In the RFP, will you also include 2-year extension then on, or the new RFP, or 1 year like it is now?
1 year. It'll be 1 year extension. We're not proposing any changes to the contract whatsoever.
Thank you, Ms. Knotts.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Knotts. One of the reasons that we decided to go back to the 1 year contract with a 1 year extension is because of what's been happening in PSC docket number 140283. That docket started on August 19th of 2014, and it was a petition from staff to the commission to examine the standard offer service pricing and to look at long-term approaches to standard offer service to see if there was any way that we could begin to look at reducing energy prices in Delaware. As you can tell, that docket has proceeded at a relative snail's pace. We have now got back from London Economics International LLC a final report. We have received that in April, and we're not sure if there will be any changes that we may come forth to the Commission on the SOS or not at this point. So it seemed premature to go into a longer-term contract for the technical monitor when we weren't sure what the technical monitor might even have to be looking at. So that's the reason we stepped back. With Delmarva's advice and counsel, we stepped back and said, let's just do the 1 year and a 1 year extension, and then we'll take it from there. But the reason, obviously, is because we still have this parallel docket, 140283. And since we have received the final report back from London Economics International, we will be reviewing that report with interested parties on Thursday, July the 21st, here in our Dover office, starting at 9:30 a.m. So that will be a workshop that will be conducted by staff and attended by, I'm sure, Delmarva and anybody else interested in that SOS report. And lastly, the commission meeting due to our long-range planning efforts, the commission meeting that was originally scheduled for Tuesday, July the 26th, may have some quorum issues. So we are electing at this point to change that meeting to Thursday, July the 28th, starting at 1 p.m. here in our Dover office. Hope everyone appreciates the fact that we've been able to screw up their schedules. We try as best we can. Apparently there was a change from the original NARUC schedule to the original NARUC schedule of 2015, probably, when we looked at it, to the final schedule at this point. And since we have a few commissioners who will be enjoying themselves in Nashville on Tuesday the 26th, we think we will have the meeting on the 28th.
There's one, I guess, issue with that. I think we had a hearing before the commission on the electricity affordability committee docket scheduled for that day. While we are having a conference call with the hearing examiner, which I think we're still trying to set up, regarding
1:30.
Reese's motion to continue that proceeding. I note only that our consultant is not available on the 28th because she had made her plans based on the 26th. So if that hearing continues to go forward on the 28th, the DPA may have a problem.
Thank you, Ms. Iori. I appreciate that. We can attempt to continue to hold the schedule to the 26th. but I will not guarantee a quorum.
Well, as I said, we do have a hearing. We do have a conference call tomorrow with the hearing examiner regarding this, and it may not be an issue.
Please disregard my previous comment. We will be back to the Tuesday, July the 26th, so that everybody's schedule can be maintained as they have already suggested.
What if all parties agree to the schedule? Do you want to then switch it to the 28th, or do you want to continue it on the 26th?
We'll continue it on the 26th.
Okay, so we're not moving it.
Thank you, Chairman Winslow. That completes my comments for the day.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate that input. And best wishes to everybody. The meeting is adjourned.